Archives of Prasar Bharati presents the timeless treasure of Golden Era.
We welcome you to our program Welcome to Studio One.
I have the distinct honor and privilege to introduce to all of you a voice which is very magical and very unique. It belongs to my friend and also who happens to be an artist I greatly admire, Harpreet, an independent musician based in Delhi but whose voice has travelled far and wide. You'll see him perform in stage productions, on the stage as an independent artist, and I don't know how many of you know it, but one of his songs has also made it to the Yash Raj banner as the title track for the movie Titli. We have this personality in front of us who experiments greatly with his music. His music will smell at once of folk culture, at another time of very modern progressive ideas of music which we all might carry. And while we will learn a little more about every side of this personality called Harpreet, let's begin with something that he's most known for, which is his singing. Can we begin with one of your compositions, which is an invocation to something great?
So I'll start with a composition I recently did. So it's a writing of Kabir.
Wonderful.
So I'll sing it.
This is All India Radio Archives recording.
इस घट अंतर बाग बगीचे इसी में घट अंतर सात समंदर इसी में 9 लाख तारा इस घट अंतर पारस मोती इसी में परखनहारा इस घट अंतर अनहद गरजे इसी में फूटा कहत कबीर सुनो भई साधो इसी में साईं हमारा इसी में साईं
Thank you. How wonderful is that? You know, he is one of those musicians whose music not only mesmerizes an audience, but I believe that, and the more you will listen to him, will send you to some kind of a trance, because that's the kind of power his voice really holds. And we will keep sampling his music during the course of the conversation. But Harpreet, now, who are you? Where do you come from? How did music enter the picture in your life? Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I grew up in a farm in Haryana, so which is not even village. It was just like 4 of my father's siblings family, and I grew up in fields and then very earthy atmosphere basically. So it all started then itself, and I was like 6 or 7. My father used to sing old Bollywood songs, and that would inspire me to listen to him and to sing as well.
Right.
And that's when it all started to inspire me, basically.
Right. And you just said that, you know, you come from a very earthy atmosphere.
Yeah.
and that constantly reflects itself in your music as well. But how did it start for you? When did you start singing? Did you train yourself in the art of singing?
Yes, I did. Much later, like then when I was 6 or 7. But I started playing instruments when at that age only. I started playing keyboard, and then I shifted to guitar while I was like simultaneously I was singing as well. So that's when it all started. And after my schooling, I came to Delhi and started to learn Hindustani classical in Gandhar Mahavidhalaya.
And how did guitar enter your life?
It's kind of a weird story, but
So from Hindustani music coming
So
on to guitar
it
and
came-
owning it.
it came before I started learning Hindustani classical, but because I could not afford a piano, I thought I can buy a basic guitar at least. So yeah, that's why I chose guitar.
That's something all of us
It's a
think.
weird reason, I know.
No, that's something all of us think. I remember 2 years ago, I also thought the same. I got a guitar. It's still somewhere in some corner of my room. I couldn't do the magic with it, which Harpreet has been able to. And before I ask you more questions, let's hear one more song from you. Anything very close to your heart.
Okay, since we are talking about Earth,
Earth, yes.
Mati, I'll sing one of Baba Bulleh Shah's writing, which is one of my first. Mati kudam करेंदी ही यार वाह वाह माटी दे गुलजार माटी कोड़ा माटी जोड़ा माटी दा असवार माटी माटी नूं दौड़ावे माटी दी छनकार माटी ही माटी नूं मारन लग गई माटी दे हथियार ओ जिस माटी पर बहुती माटी सो माटी हंकार माटी ही बाग बगीचा माटी माटी दे गुलजार ओ माटी माटी नूं वेखण आई माटी दी बहार हस खेड फिर माटी होवे पैंदे पांव पसार ओ बुल्ला जाए बुजारत बुझे ता ला पाओ सिरों मार ता ला पाओ सिरों
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Oh dear God, it'll take some time to get out of the thrill that music created, I'm sure, in all of us. And Harpreet, you experiment with your music a lot. I mean, this is, as a spectator, it's very entertaining to see the way you play. So what I really want to ask you is, what kind of music did you grow up listening to? What is the impact that has been on your music? From where did this come?
I think at my early age, as I told you, my father used to sing old Bollywood songs, and after that, when I started to exploring music on internet, I would say, because you don't have that kind of range in the market as much as it's there on internet. So I started to listen, I used to listen to flamenco, as you can hear the flavor of it. All sorts of music, Arabic music, Chinese music, and from Indian classical to metal, rock, all sorts of music. So yeah.
Excellent. And what genre would you say your music belongs to?
It's that is why it's very difficult for me to put myself in one genre. I would say I'm still exploring, and I'm open to experiment in different genres as well.
Okay.
But over the period, I realized that I like poetry. I like to compose poetry.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many of you know this about Harpreet, but he has composed, he makes it a personal mission to bring the great poets of the past out in a manner that the audience of today can relish, enjoy and relate with them. And a few of these compositions I have been privileged enough to hear belong to Pash, the great Punjabi poet, and to Faiz Ahmed Faiz, the great Urdu poet. So more on your connection with poetry. How did poetry start influencing your life, and when did it enter your music?
It just happened because I was a not even very average, but below average student in my school. So so it says it all. I never used to study or read books in school, at least. And but I think the kind of music I've been listening to, it was not a usual one. It was not a regular one which like everyone would listen to. So I had I developed this different taste of lyrics, I would say, of sounds, because even in poetry, before I understand the meaning, it's the sound what I listen to, what I get out of it. So that inspires me a lot.
Right. So the
because poetry is so beautifully written, and it has very interesting sounds in it. So that inspires me.
And which are the better poets or the greater poets who've impacted you?
For me, it's not the poets, it's their work.
It's their work.
Not all the work of one poet is great, I would say, for me at least.
That's honest, and that's perfectly fine. And now we'll make you do some talking, because we also want to hear about your journey from you. So one of the highlights of Harpreet's career, as I also shared in the beginning, is the fact that one of his compositions, called Kutte, very interestingly, was the title track for a Yash Raj production, Titli, a very iconoclastic movie in its own self. And this, I'm sure, for a lot of independent musicians would be like a dream. And I do want to hear that journey from you, Harpreet, from composing for your own self, composing from composing for this stage, to being featured in a Yash Raj production. How did this journey happen?
I think the credit goes to the song, Kutte, and the person who wrote it, Deepak Dhamija and Mahip Singh. So writing is the first thing which inspires me to compose it. So that's why the composition is there. So it all started in 2011. Kutte, the song was part of a play which was also called Kutte, and after that play, like we did a few shows of that play, and then I started singing this song in my live shows. It was quite interesting when people would demand the song Kutte, because in the audience they would shout Kutte, Kutte. And that's kind of weird to the people who don't know that I have a song Kutte. So
imagine Harpreet is on stage and the audience suddenly starts shouting Kutte. What an impact. But okay, before that, what was this play about? It has such an interesting name, but you
So
should
the song is about, I'll tell you, I'll come to the play as well.
Sure.
The song is about dogs complaining to God. Why have you created this human? They all the time they are in mess, they can't live alone, they can't live together, and a lot of complaints basically. And there was a monologue happening right next to the music thing, like music as in the song. So the dialogues were and the lyrics are were connected.
Oh.
So a woman in a village lying in her old age and bothered by the barking dogs in the street, and somehow it has a connection.
And how did the barking of this dog reach to Diwakar Banerjee?
So it randomly happened. I was on a holiday and he was also at the same place, and he liked the song. I was singing there for the people, and he was like, I might call you.
Wow. And what was your response?
And a few days later, I was like, okay, I don't really expect much before it happens. So one fine day he called and said, we might be using your song Kutte.
Excellent. And how is once this happened, and once it became real, then what was your response? Do you respond at all?
I don't know how to respond to that, but to me it's fine. I'm on my journey, and whatever is happening, it's happening. So yeah.
Can you imagine this shy guy singing a song like Kutte? So we have to see it for ourselves. And that's the next song, sir, that I will request you to present in front of everyone.
Okay. So as I already told you, the song is about dogs singing basically or complaining to God. ਓਏ ਰੱਬਾ ਮੇਰਿਆ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਤੇ ਦੱਸ, ਓਏ ਰੱਬਾ ਮੇਰਿਆ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਤੇ ਦੱਸ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਤੂੰ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਾ ਕੀਤੀ ਬਸ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਤੂੰ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਾ ਕੀਤੀ ਬਸ, ਦੱਸ ਕੀ ਲੱਭਿਆ, 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 ਇਹ ਬੰਦਾ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਤੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਕੀ ਲੱਭਿਆ, ਦੱਸ ਕੀ ਲੱਭਿਆ, ਦੱਸ ਕੀ ਲੱਭਿਆ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਸਮਝ ਨਾ ਆਈ, ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਕੀ ਜਾਤ ਬਣਾਈ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਸਮਝ ਨਾ ਆਈ, ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਕੀ ਜਾਤ ਬਣਾਈ, ਇਸ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਵਿੱਚ ਅੱਗ ਲਗਾਉਣਾ ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਬਸ ਇਹੋ ਕਮਾਈ, ਕੀ ਲੱਭਿਆ, ਕੀ ਲੱਭਿਆ, ਦੱਸ ਕੀ ਲੱਭਿਆ, ਦੱਸ ਕੀ ਲੱਭਿਆ, ਇਹ ਬੰਦਾ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਤੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਕੀ ਲੱਭਿਆ, ਦੱਸ ਕੀ ਲੱਭਿਆ, ਦੱਸ ਕੀ ਲੱਭਿਆ। ਜਦ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਾਉਂਦੇ, ਭੌਂਕ ਭੌਂਕ ਕੇ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਜਗਾਉਂਦੇ, ਜਦ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਾਉਂਦੇ, ਭੌਂਕ ਭੌਂਕ ਕੇ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਜਗਾਉਂਦੇ, ਇੱਕ ਦੂਜੇ ਨਾਲ ਲੜ ਲੜ ਕੇ ਇਹ ਫਿਰ ਆਪਣੀ ਔਕਾਤ ਵਿਖਾਉਂਦੇ, ਕੀ ਲੱਭਿਆ, ਕੀ ਲੱਭਿਆ, ਦੱਸ ਕੀ ਲੱਭਿਆ, ਦੱਸ ਕੀ ਲੱਭਿਆ, ਇਹ ਬੰਦਾ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਤੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਕੀ ਲੱਭਿਆ, ਦੱਸ ਕੀ ਲੱਭਿਆ, ਦੱਸ ਕੀ ਲੱਭਿਆ। You can all clap with me. ਕੱਲੇ ਤਾਂ ਇਹਦਾ ਜੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ, ਇਕੱਠੇ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਜੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦਾ, ਕੱਲੇ ਤਾਂ ਇਹਦਾ ਜੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ, ਇਕੱਠੇ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਜੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦਾ, ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਘਰ ਫਿਰ ਮੁਲਕ ਬਣਾਏ, ਗੈਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਆਪਣਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਲੁੱਟਦਾ, ਕੀ ਲੱਭਿਆ, की लभया दस की लभया दस की लभया you can also sing की लभया दस की लभया दस की लभया everyone की लभया ए बंदा बना के तू दस की लभया दस की लभया दस की लभया बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग बात है सुनने वाली You can keep clapping. सानू ता अपनी गली बथेरी खंबा मेरा नाली तेरी सानू ता अपनी गली बथेरी खंबा मेरा नाली तेरी बंदियां दा कर रोज ही टुटदा साडा न करना ही कोई लुटदा की लभया दस की लभया दस की लभया योर डन एवरीवन की लभया दस की लभया दस की लभया की लभया दस की लभया की लभया ए बंदा बना के तू दस की लभया दस की लभया दस की लभया ओए रब्बा मेरे आ एक गल ते दस ओए रब्बा मेरे आ एक गल ते दस
Woo! Now I didn't have to ask them to clap louder.
Thank you so
because
much.
that just happened. Very, very interesting lyrics, Harpreet. You have to tell us a little bit about the genesis of these lyrics. Who wrote these lyrics?
Deepak Dhameja and Mahip Singh.
And how do you know them?
Deepak Dhameja is a theatre writer,
Okay.
director, and in a random get together, it happened like that we met. Yeah.
Okay, so they have very interesting thoughts, I must tell you. And to have these thoughts come out in very, very innovative thoughts and such obvious thoughts. But we could relate to everything. But to say these things out loud takes strength of a poet, and hats off to those poets.
And that get together is also very interesting. I must tell a little bit about that. So that get together in which I met Deepak Dhameja and quite a few other people, like we are still in touch and we are still working together on like something or the other. So that get together is called Mafia. Mafia stands for musicians, artists, filmmakers, interested log, aaja. So that thing is started by a very dear friend of mine, Gurpal Singh, and like a few more people. But he's the active one who keeps having these get-togethers, and it helps people to collaborate and meet and innovate a lot of things.
Absolutely. So there's so many people out there doing different kind of interesting things in their own sphere. And for Gurpal sir, whom I think all of us know from TV, from Chupa Rustam and a couple of other places, for him to have created a platform where a certain Harpreet could find a certain Deepak Dhameja, could find a certain Mahip, and they could all come together to create this song.
Definitely.
Yeah. Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Yes. And a little more about, we do know a little bit about your background now, about your musical journey, but theatre entered into the picture Chupke Se, and we didn't hear much about that. So have you been actively involved with theatre?
Not so far. I've been doing very interesting projects, but I think now I want to concentrate more on my my own stuff basically.
Okay.
But yeah, it's very interesting to work with theatre, and I learned a lot of things. I tried to learn at least how to work with the whole team, and a lot of things what theatre teaches you. And it all started with Deepak Dhameja only, and with the play Kutte. And after that, I did music for quite a few of Dadi Padamji's productions. Yeah, that was very interesting and very learning experience for me to work with Dadi Padamji.
Excellent. And are you also working on something currently? Is there any theatre production underway?
Yeah, there's a play going on. It's like Traveling, which is written by writer-director Purva Naresh, and the play is called Ladies Sangeet.
Okay.
So we did quite a few of shows in Delhi and Mumbai.
And what is this play about? It's a very interesting title. Lady Sangeet.
It's very interestingly written play. It talks about many issues in the society, but at the same time, it's the atmosphere of ladies' Sangeet which is going to happen, and eventually it happens.
Do you also act in these plays?
It's very interesting. I don't really act, but whoever asked me to be part of their production, their play, gave me a role of a musician.
So a musician off stage, on stage, and then in productions as well. So you play yourself.
Yeah.
Excellent. So on that note, can we hear something from one of your stage productions, from theatre productions where you've given music? Anything.
Okay, I'll sing a song again written by Mahip Singh, and this was for Dadi Padamji's play called Heer Ke Waris.
Heer Ke Waris.
Yeah.
Kya baat hai.
And this song is also part of my album. In fact, today is the second anniversary of my debut album release.
Oh wow, congratulations.
Yeah. So, album which is called Ajab Ishq Mati Da.
Ajab Ishq Mati Da.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, this song is also there in that.
So you sing the song and then we'll hear a little bit about your album.
Sure. अव्वल हमद खुदा दा विरद कीजे इश्क कीता सु जगदा मूल मियां पहले आप है रब ने हो माशूक है नबी रसूल मियां करां बात मैं ओस अल्लाह दी करां बात मैं ओस अल्लाह दी जिसने खलक बनाई फिर मनावा खैर पीर दी फिर मनावा खैर पीर दी जिसने जुगत लगाई पखी फेरा पानी ढोवा चुन्नी जोग रंगाई पखी फेरा पानी ढोवा चुन्नी जोग रंगाई पखी फेरा पानी ढोवा चुन्नी जोग रंगाई पर सब तू पहला मैं यार मनावा जिसने दीद कराई
Wonderful.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So just before this song, you mentioned about your debut album, Ajab Ishq Mati Da.
Yeah.
When did that album come out? What were the kind of songs that you composed then?
So it has, some of them are written by me and some are
You write
written
songs
by...
also?
Yes, I do.
So you're a poet as well. We didn't know about that.
I very rarely write, so not that I can't really call myself a poet.
Okay.
And other than my own writings, it has the song Kutte and Heer, which you have already heard, and a song by a poem by Nirala, which I composed. That is also there, and a few more.
Excellent. So you've had a long journey, and I'm sure we've heard about the glories. But for anyone, any artist, and especially an independent aspiring artist who's trying to make a name, there are many challenges and many struggles that come in the way. And would you like to share some of those struggles also? Because this might be some kind of learning for others out there who are trying to get into the same field.
I think struggles and hard works are there in all the fields, whatever you want to do or whatever you want to, get successful in. So as a musician, I also had a few struggles, and which are not, I don't see them as struggle actually. What if you want to do something, and if you have something which is very close to your heart and you are doing that, I don't think there is any struggle in that. You are doing what you want to do.
How nice.
And the struggles are, they become secondary, so they are part of your life. It can be emotional, it can be financial, it can be anything,
But so long as your music is with you.
As long as you are doing what you want to do.
What you want to do, right.
It can be a new startup as well. It can be, you can become a musician, whatever you want to become. I think you need to keep it separate from the struggle.
Okay, how nice. On that note, we would love to take some questions from the audience if there are any. Yes, we have a question there. We'll just send the mic to you so that we can hear you properly.
नमस्कार, मेरा नाम अंजनी कुमार है.
Hi Anjani.
प्रसिद्ध दिग्गज कवियों की कविताओं के साथ उन्हें गायकी में अपने रूप में ढालना, उसके बाद फिर उसे गिटार के साथ प्रस्तुत करना, बहुत अच्छा लगा हम लोगों को सुन के. और आप ये प्रेरणा आपको कहाँ से मिली? इससे पहले मैं शायद दिलेश मिश्रा को सुनता हूँ, वो भी गिटार के साथ नहीं गाते, अपनी आवाज़ से गाते हैं, और वो भी कविताओं को ही खुद लिखते हैं, लिखने के बाद दूसरों की कविताओं को सुनाते हैं. उसके बाद आपकी आवाज़ और आपकी ये गायकी सबसे ज़्यादा हम लोगों को प्रेरणा का स्रोत प्रदान करते हैं.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks.
क्वेश्चन ये है कि ये प्रेरणा आपको कहाँ से मिली कि कविताओं को जो है गिटार के साथ प्रस्तुत करना?
ये एक्चुअली होता चला गया सब. मुझे बचपन में ही पता चल गया था कि that I want to do music, but I didn't know what exactly I'm going to do in music. So that was also a struggle at one point of time, whether I want to be a vocalist or an instrument player. But I chose to be both. और उसी जर्नी के दौरान हमें मुझे एटलीस्ट रियलाइज़ होता हुआ चला गया कि ये मुझे अच्छा लगता है करना. बस वो होता चला गया. कुछ उसके पीछे कोई बहुत, मुझे नहीं लगता कोई बहुत बड़ा कुछ कारण है, बट वो एक जर्नी आप जब डिसाइड कर लेते हो उस पर चलना है आपको, तो खुद ब खुद चीज़ें होती चली जाती हैं. उसी तरह से मुझे धीरे धीरे रियलाइज़ हो गया कि मुझे पोइट्री बहुत पसंद है और मैं उसे और करना चाहता हूँ. इट जस्ट हैपेंड. आई डिडंट प्लान इट टू हैपन.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Any other questions that we have, ma'am? I am the happiest person right now. Because one of the Bangla songs that he sings, and that's not his composition, but it's the most beautiful, but of course you can choose to sing whatever.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I'll maybe sing a line or two, though I'm not really supposed to sing it, but I can take the liberty to sing my friend Moshumi Bhomik's composition and her writing. So I'll tell her later, I believe, that I sang your song on radio. আমি শুনেছি সেদিন তুমি সাগরের ঢেউয়ে চেপে নীল জল দিগন্ত ছুঁয়ে এসেছো. আমি শুনেছি সেদিন তুমি নোনা বালি তীর ধরে বহুদূর হেঁটে এসেছো. আমি কখনো যাইনি জলে, কখনো ভাসিনি নীলে, কখনো রাখিনি চোখ গানা মেলা গান চিলে আবার যেদিন তুমি সমুদ্র স্নানে যাবে আমাকে সাথে নিও নেবে তো আমায় বলো নেবে তো আমায়
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That
Thank
was
you.
some new flavor to his side that you could see. And Jwala Prasad ji has a question.
पहले तो मुझे ये बहुत अच्छा लगा कि जैसे सितार में तरब मिलाते हैं आपने भी एक एक तार अलग अलग सॉन्ग में मिलाया तो ये आपने सीखा या अपने आइडिया से जैसे एक एक नोट आप बेस का अलग अलग गाने के लिए मिला रहे थे ना
ऐसे देख
इसको ओपन ओपन जो
जी,
तार
जी,
दे रहे
जी।
थे आप कॉर्ड्स के साथ में वो बहुत अच्छा लगा एक तो
थैंक यू सो मच
और जितना आप लाउडली अच्छा गाते हो उतना सॉफ्ट भी बहुत अच्छा गाते हो जैसे अभी बंगला गाया वेरी गुड ये बहुत कम लोगों में होता है मेरी शुभकामनाएं आपके साथ हैं ऐसे रियाज करते रहना और खूब नाम कीजिए वाह
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद थैंक यू
बहुत धन्यवाद सर.
हेलो सर, मेरा नाम दीपक है सर. सबसे पहले तो सर मैं आपकी एज जानना चाहूँगा, आपकी एज क्या है?
ओके
अब बता दिया जाए.
इट्स since it's radio I think बोलने में क्या फर्क पड़ता है so yeah
वैसे भी
30
क्या फर्क?
I'm just saying या 30 साल मेरी उम्र है जनाब.
सर भारत देश में जहाँ पे 50% से ज़्यादा आबादी युवा है, आपको लगता है कि ऐसे देश में जहाँ पे इतने पार्टी फ्रीक सॉन्ग्स चलते हैं वहाँ पे ऐसे गाने जिस तरीके के आप गाने गाते हैं, क्या लगता है कि इस तरीके के गाने प्रचलित हो पाएंगे युवाओं के बीच आगे जाकर?
Very nice question.
इसका जवाब आप दीजिए मुझे आपको कैसा
मैं तो
लगा
कह रहा हूँ कि
सुन
मैं तो अरिजीत सिंह देख रहा हूँ दूसरा यहाँ पे आज.
ये
Okay. I don't know how to respond to that.
Yes.
But yeah, I'll take it as a compliment. Thank you so much.
you must. I think we can take one more question. And then मेरी एक फरमाइश है उसके बाद but पहले आपका question.
मेरा नाम सौरभ है. मेरा आपसे बस सिंपल क्वेश्चन, आपको कभी प्यार हुआ है? क्योंकि आपकी वॉइस में वो झलक रहा है.
क्या झलक रहा है? प्यार झलक रहा है या दर्द?
दर्द नहीं, प्यार झलक रहा है.
Thank you. वो झलक रहा है तो हुआ ही होगा कभी तो.
क्योंकि जिस तरीके से आपने पोइट्री डिसाइड की है वो
जी.
एक सोल कनेक्ट फील कर हो रहा है.
Thank
एक
you.
सूदिंग एटमॉस्फेयर क्रिएट हो रहा है. तो इसलिए मैंने आपसे एक क्वेश्चन पूछा है कि आपको कभी प्यार हुआ है? अभी भी मेरा क्वेश्चन
जी बिल्कुल हुआ है, कई बार हुआ है.
अरे वाह, थैंक यू.
Thank you. सर आप कुछ पूछना चाह रहे थे.
आप बहुत अच्छा गाए हैं. मैंने हमेशा देखा है पॉप सिंगर्स में देखिए, वेस्टर्न सिंगर्स में देखिए, वो शुरू से भटक के मींड में चले जाते हैं, बेसुरे हो जाते हैं. आप क्यों नहीं होते हैं? What is the reason?
What a question.
मुझे तो लग रहा था मैं कहीं कहीं भटक रहा हूँ लेकिन बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपने ऐसा कहा था.
नहीं, बहुत अच्छा गाया आप.
Thank you.
मुझे पहली बार पॉप अच्छा लगा. पहली बार 60 year I am going to complete my 60 year.
Oh.
Otherwise I
Thank
don't
you
like the
so
pop
much.
singer and the western music also because I am a classical singer.
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया जी, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया.
Thank you.
How presenting your emotions और feelings जो भी है बहुत अच्छे ढंग से आप प्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं. हमारा ये आशीर्वाद है, हमारे देश का नाम रोशन कर रहे हैं. संगीत को खूब जिस तरह से प्यार कर रहे हैं ना. आप बच्चे ने पूछा आपको प्यार हुआ है, आपका प्यार संगीत के प्रति है जो दिखा रहा है.
Thank you.
आपको वैसे ही प्यार रखिए, अपना कंटिन्यू रखिए.
बहुत बहुत
How
शुक्रिया.
amazing. How lovely.
I would say this was one of the best compliments ever. Thank you so much.
How wonderful. And we have Sir now who will.
No, I have no question, but I have only one observation. First and foremost, I'm feeling very proud today that I had a chance meeting with Harpreet.
Thank you
And
so much.
that culminated in this. And so all of us could enjoy him, his singing, and well, many facets of his Harpreet has come out here, which I didn't know. I was hooked by his singing that evening. I think one of them has already asked you this. At an age where everybody would sing romantic songs or sing hip-hop songs, you are in romance with a different kind of songs, a different genre of song. Well, is there anything particular in that? Why you have chosen this? You could have easily taken to other things also. What's that?
At times when struggle becomes heavy on you, any type of struggle, you feel a little distracted from what you really want to do. But all I can say, so far I could manage to do what my heart really wants to do. So this, whatever I sang today, it came out of my heart. And all those writings, what I composed and sang and presented in front of you today are all those writings inspired me. They touched me in a way or the other. And so far, yes, I really do what my heart says me to do. Thank you so much. It's such an...
is also likely to be part of that.
Wow.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for this offer, for this invitation. Not just I will come, I will also work on a composition in the same, like to give the same message.
Oh, wonderful.
Thank you so much.
And do we have time for one more song by Harpreet? Can we do that? Because, yes. So there is this lovely poem by Faiz, which I call a poem for our times, called Bol, Ke Lab Azad Hain Tere, and which Harpreet has composed in a beautiful fashion, beautiful manner, capable of inspiring, I think, generations from now through the sonorous voice that he has. Can we hear that one last composition and bring alive Faiz's words in front of all of us?
Sure. बोल के लब आजाद हैं तेरे, बोल के लब आजाद हैं तेरे, बोल ज़बां अब तक तेरी है, तेरा सुतवा जिस्म है तेरा, बोल के जान अब तक तेरी है। देख के आहनगर की दुकान में तुंद है शोले सुर्ख है आहन, हाँ खुलने लगे कुफलों के दहाने, फैला हर एक जंजीर का दामन, देख के आहंगर की दुकान में तुंद हैं शोले सुर्ख है आहन, खुलने लगे फूलों के दहाने, फैला हर एक जंजीर का दामन, बोल ये थोड़ा वक्त बहुत है, बोल ये थोड़ा वक्त बहुत है, जिस्म ज़बां की मौत से पहले, बोल के सच जिंदा है अब तक, बोल के सच जिंदा है अब तक, बोल जो कुछ कहना है कह ले, बोल के लब आजाद है तेरे, बोल के लब आजाद है तेरे, बोल के लब आजाद है तेरे।
Wow! We could go on listening to you, Harpreet. We could just go on listening to you.
Thank you so
and for
much.
all the energy that he's put in, may I request one more round of applause? Since 1 hour he's sung for us.
Thank you so much. Thank you all.
And the impact he's had, I can witness on all of your faces and all of your smiles. And thank you, Harpreet, for sharing
Thank
your
you so
life
much.
and your
Thank
story
you.
with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for also giving me the privilege of conversing more with such an amazing artist. And that, with that, we call it a day here.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks a lot.